You ever notice how certain emotions show up uninvited and just decide to stay? You're trying to focus, trying to move forward, and suddenly there's this weight pressing on your chest. Anger that won't settle, anxiety that circles back every few minutes, grief that surfaces when you least expect it. And the strangest part is, the harder you try to push these feelings away, the heavier they seem to get. Most of us weren't really taught what to do with difficult emotions. We learned to distract ourselves, to stay busy, to wait them out. But waiting doesn't always work. The emotion lingers. It shows up in how we speak to people, in how we sleep, in that tightness we carry around without realizing it. And after a while, we start to feel like we're failing at something we were never taught how to do in the first place. The Stoics had a different approach. They didn't try to eliminate difficult emotions. They didn't pretend that life could be lived without pain or frustration or fear. What they did instead was change their relationship with those emotions. They asked a simple question: what part of this is actually within my control? Not the feeling itself, not the situation that caused it, but how I think about it, how I hold it, how I let it move through me. And that's where journaling becomes something more than just writing things down. It becomes a way to separate what you're feeling from what you're believing about what you're feeling. Because most of the suffering doesn't come from the emotion itself. It comes from the story we tell about it, the shame we add to the sadness, the catastrophe we build around the anxiety. Journaling lets you see that story on paper, and when you see it, you can question it. So here's how you might actually do this. Not as a self-improvement task, but as a way to give your mind a little more room to breathe. Start with this question: what emotion am I feeling right now, and where do I feel it in my body? Write it plainly. I feel angry. I feel it in my jaw and my shoulders. This does something simple but powerful. It takes the emotion out of your head, where it swirls and amplifies, and puts it somewhere concrete. You're not trying to solve it yet. You're just naming it, acknowledging it. That alone can shift something. Then ask, what situation triggered this feeling? Write down the facts, just the facts. Not your interpretation, not your fear about what it means, just what actually happened. Someone said something. You didn't get the response you wanted. You remembered something painful. The Stoics believed that events themselves are neutral. It's our judgment about them that creates suffering. Writing the facts helps you see the difference between what happened and what you're afraid it means. Next, and this is where it gets interesting, what part of this situation is within my control and what part isn't? Make 2 lists if you want. Be ruthlessly honest. You can't control what someone else thinks. You can't control the past. You can't control outcomes that haven't happened yet, but you can control how you respond, how you talk to yourself, what you choose to focus on. This isn't about forcing positivity. It's about finding the one small area where you actually have agency, because that's where your power lives. Then write this: what would change if I accepted this emotion without needing it to go away right now? Not forever, just right now. What if this feeling didn't mean something was wrong with you? What if it was just weather passing through? The Stoics understood that resistance creates tension. Acceptance creates space. You're not giving up. You're just stopping the fight that makes everything worse. And here's one more, and it might feel a little uncomfortable at first. What is this emotion trying to protect me from, or tell me? Sometimes anger is covering fear. Sometimes sadness is protecting you from confronting a loss. Emotions aren't the enemy, they're messengers. Writing helps you listen to what they're actually saying, instead of just reacting to the noise. You don't have to answer all of these every time. Some days one question is enough. Some days you'll write 3 sentences and feel lighter. Other days you'll fill pages and still feel heavy, and that's okay too. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about understanding yourself a little better. What you'll notice over time is that the emotions don't disappear, but they start to move differently. They don't get stuck as often. You stop adding layers of judgment and fear on top of what you're already feeling, and that creates space. Not the kind of space where everything is perfect, but the kind where you can breathe a little easier, think a little clearer, be a little gentler with yourself. So maybe tonight or tomorrow morning, try it. Pick one question, write for 5 minutes. See what happens when you stop trying to solve the feeling and just let yourself see it clearly. The difficult emotions will come again. They always do. But each time you meet them with a pen in your hand and a little stoic clarity, you're training yourself to stay steady in the middle of the storm. And that steadiness, quiet and unforced, is a kind of freedom.